Deliberations begin today in a La Crosse murder trial. Mitrel Anderson of La Crosse is charged with first-degree intentional homicide and the stabbing death of a man at a Quick Trip. News 8's Brittany Schmidt joins us live from the courthouse with the details. Brittany?
Lisa, the jury began deliberations at noon today, and during those closing arguments, prosecutors and defense attorneys laid out their positions very clearly. The prosecution believed that Mitrel Anderson stabbed DeMario Lee in the head with intent to kill him, while the defense argues it was self-defense. But during those arguments, both sides kept to their stories.
After 8 days in a packed courtroom and countless witness testimonies, the prosecuting and defense attorneys addressed the jury one last time for closing arguments.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, here are your pictures. Does he look scared to you there? Does he look scared right there? As he's strolling out of the store, does he look like a man who just barely escaped with his life? Right there, does he look like somebody who's worried about someone chasing him down with a gun and shooting him?
The threats that DeMario Lee was making to kill Mitrel Anderson sent fear vibrating through Mitrel, through all of him. And the state's star witness, Oliver Odilana, told you the same thing himself, that Mitrel was getting beaten and was mainly trying just to protect himself.
It was never a question of who killed DeMario Lee, but rather a question as to why. Did Anderson stab Lee with the intent to kill him?
He never called police. He didn't call to report what had happened to him. He didn't call to turn himself in or explain himself. Never, not once. These are not the actions of a man who was forced to kill because he was afraid for his life.
Or was Lee's death the result of self-defense?
He hit DeMario Lee once. He didn't go after him. It was not anger. If he was angry at him, what would he have done to DeMario Lee on the ground? Would he have kicked him? Would he have looked for money in his pockets? Would he spit on him? He didn't do that. That was fear reacting. That wasn't anger.
After closing arguments, the judge lays out the possible verdicts.
The following 5 forms of the verdict will be submitted to you considering the charges against the defendant Mitrel Anderson.
The jury can find Anderson guilty of first-degree intentional homicide, guilty of second-degree intentional homicide, guilty of first-degree reckless homicide, guilty of second-degree reckless homicide, or not guilty.
The jury has been in deliberation since noon today, and because this is a criminal case, all 12 members of the jury have to unanimously agree on a verdict. Reporting live from the courthouse, I'm Brittany Schmidt for News 8. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Brittany. If the jury doesn't have a verdict by 8 o'clock tonight, they will begin deliberating again tomorrow morning.